Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Upside. So this is one of the first films of 2019 to come out. This film's kind of been sitting on the shelf for a little bit and having to do with the whole Weinstein Company situation. And this is about Kevin Hart, who plays a man who's trying to find a way of keeping his unemployment and making sure that he can try to get back into his son's life. And he winds up getting this job as a caretaker for Bryan Cranston's billionaire who's in a wheelchair and can't feel anything below his neck. And this has been getting some really harsh reviews and doesn't have very high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was a little nervous going in, and honestly I liked this movie. I thought it was a good movie, I enjoyed it, I got a lot out of it. And Neil Berger, who's the director, I feel like, yeah, some of the moments in this film feel like a movie. Yes. And does it feel cliched? Yeah. This isn't the most original kind of film. You kind of get what's going to be going on in this film. This story is set up. There's a lot of things that you do expect. But honestly, the way that this film was made and the performances really elevate this film. Because I found myself feeling for these characters, and I wanted them to be successful. I wanted Kevin Hart to be able to get his son back and be back in his life. I wanted Bryan Cranston to find a reason for living again, because that's a big part of his struggle in this film. And there's particular scenes in this film that were filmed with a lot of gusto, and you could tell that there was a lot of thought and effort that went into how certain scenes were shot. There's one particular scene, an awkward lunch, and you can feel the awkwardness and the tension building in the scene through the camera work and the shots and the performances. And I really was like, oh, it felt like an inspired scene that kind of stuck out in this film. And the camera work, I think, is well done. And I appreciate it. So, the score in particular isn't the most memorable, but I appreciated the use of music and how that was a piece of this film and helped these two characters bond, especially over opera music. And I felt like that music was used very well. The moments that really pay off in this film are those moments where Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston are interacting. And they have a lot of chemistry, and they're great with each other. And there's particular scenes where they enter an altered state of existence, and they're a lot of fun. Get a lot of laughs out of it. Do all the jokes work in this film? Do all the little set pieces work? Some of it's a little lowbrow and didn't work necessarily for me, didn't make me laugh, but honestly, there's a lot of times where I was laughing in this film, and I think that says something, because I'm not the kind of person to laugh out loud a whole lot in the theater, and there's quite a few times during this movie that I audibly made laughter, and I'm like, okay, I'm appreciating this. And really, I feel like this film, if it wasn't for the two main performances, probably would fall as something not as special or as well liked by me. But that's why you cast. That's why you cast talented actors with chemistry and charisma and are able to elevate something. Because that's really what happens here, and they make this movie worth watching. Are there certain things that wind up happening towards the end where it's like, oh, this feels nice, and things seem like they wrap up a little too easily? Maybe a little bit. And honestly, I feel like this film is a feel-good movie. It's not the best movie out there. If you're expecting around this time of year, hopefully hitting up some Oscar-contending films and want to see something really special, this isn't it. But in a field of early 2019 where usually a lot of garbage comes out, like Replicas, I think this is a feel-good movie. And you do feel good. And if you're looking for something like that, you want to laugh, you want to get some feel-good moments, this is the movie for you. And I love Bryan Cranston. Usually I'm really annoyed by Kevin Hart. There's only certain performances that I do really appreciate of his. This is one of them. I think the two of them worked really well. Kevin Hart was restrained enough to really hit his comedic moments and not feel just like, I'm screaming all the time. And I think that was important. And Nicole Kidman, who doesn't get a whole lot of depth, doesn't get a whole lot to do in this film, but honestly, she has a lot of charisma, and she really lends herself to this role and brings more to it than you would expect. And those are my feelings on this film. I think it's worth seeing for a nice feel-good movie, and so I would recommend this to a lot of people. And for like general audiences who just want to go out and see a nice movie, go see The Upside. I think you'll appreciate it. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Comment. Let's talk movies. And thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.